September of year 4. Well, apparently, the trick prince, Jin Kiritani, has decided to make his comeback, and he wants to do it at the expense of Big Mike. Guess he figures what better time to come back. As I mentioned in Mike's match outro, he's been losing of late, so maybe Jin sees this as his chance to get himself back into the mix here. With success, he imagines. Boss let them solve it in the ring, so I guess Mike is game. Maybe he figures he can turn his fortunes around by fighting someone who hasn't been around for a while and maybe is out of his game. Might be an interesting match. The Canada Wrestling Promotion presents 8 matches, half of which championship. Match 1. Normally, Big Mike would be out under the circumstance of red in the center picture there. Neck trauma caused by a guillotine choke perpetrated by none other than the wrestling bear, Terrible Ted. But as we saw, the Trick Prince, having called Mike out, trying to take advantage of the big man's losing streak as a means of Jin getting back into the picture. Big Mike has decided this is actually an opportunity for himself to get back into winning ways by facing someone who has been out of action altogether for quite some time now. Therefore, Mike sees the Jin challenge as being worth the health risk. Take another look at the neck. Well, I guess it's not an injury, but it's an issue, a neck issue. Is Big Mike too desperate to get that elusive win? Could wait a month to get healthy? We'll see if it costs him. And as the Trick Prince, aspiring to be emperor, has always maintained subordinates around him, the Japanese are back in force. So we look to match 2. Japan invading Canada as a group this time, rather than merely trickling in over time. Strongheart, on Third Time's the Charm grounds, takes another crack at the now former Canada's heavyweight champion, Big Titan, seeking to exploit the Titan at a rare low morale point for the ex-champ. And there was always grounds for rematch with these two. For although both times they faced, Big Titan repelled Strongheart's title challenge, both times the challenger scored a 2.9 count in their matches. And so, another match in which a Jin Dynasty member opportunistically aims to vault back into contention, and in Strongheart's case, a win here could spell another title shot at Canada's biggest prize, currently held by Wolf Hockfield, as we see now, with the title belt. So also and new Ace Heavyweight Champion, Midnight Night, yeah. So, the fiendish plan of Satan's general to put the Knight out of wrestling not only has failed, but has even backfired. For Midnight Night now has a title. Wise man Ted Axel, after his $50,000 disappointment trying to regain the Dramatic Fight Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, tries to challenge the Knight for the Ace title, suggesting what could be a very marketable Pretty Boy Battle #2. Their first clash was from episode 38. #1 contenders match at that point. But another Jin Dynasty member reappears. Deathblow Ken, stating, Ace would have one day been my title had I not left that organization to come here. Therefore, first in line for the title shot should be me. And CEO Derek Bogart, pleased to have Deathblow return, agrees. Match 4. Remember him? Black Dragon God had stepped away from wrestling due to concussion issues and long-term health. Decides, with Team Japan re-invading Canada, didn't want to be the only one sitting out. Hoping the extended time off will equal rest, will equal mitigate the risk of worsening his condition. And he will face, again, the very man who put him on the shelf with injury, Omega. Match 5. Again, we'll stick with the blue here for the second. Just hold on a second. Hey, they're both blonde guys who wear blue. Okay. Wise man Ted Axel, fresh off a second $50,000 disappointment, having been denied the Ace title challenge, throws a tantrum like an entitled child, cries out to whoever's listening, well then what the H am I supposed to do? I'm the $50,000 man. I should have a title match. Lucky for Ted, someone looking for a partner overhears and says, then let's make it a $90,000 challenge for Tag Team Gold. The man speaking is the Blue Blazer. Whom you might recall signed for a $40,000 bonus, which, when combined with Axel's $50,000, has made them, at least once in the past, the $90,000 team. Though the Blazer adds, but maybe not against Team Terrible again, saw enough of the bear last month. So the Blazer with a new partner now. Another version of Team Canada Blue, only it has a name. They will face the rested up, dramatic Fight Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Team Satan. Speaking of tag, just gonna blab it. Mexico Miguel to win the junior tag title. Regarding last episode, 44, Miguel had said, if I'm going to cross 2 borders to come back, you need to make it worth my while. The conclusion of that bargaining plays out this month. Team Dark. Miguel and Owen. Mexico Miguel. Type B Big Man Complex. Team Dark. Versus Team Gold and Black. Junior Tag Team Champions. Christian and the irredeemable Shota. Notice Gold and Black is set to 1 player. So more of these shenanigans. So, at the price of Mex and Owen, each knowingly taking a loss in August to put someone else over, here in September they shall become junior tag champions, with Miguel having the bonus of getting his name in the title history as captain, being the original junior and junior champion in this promotion. Deserves that honor. So that's what Miguel gets out of all this. Coming back and having to take on a heavyweight, which is not normally what they do, the juniors. And the one member of this mix not in on what's happening, Shota. Will I live to regret leaving the irredeemable in the dark? We'll see how that pans out. So I believe we're still in the tag. As 2 heavyweight champions. Who share a color commonality of blue, joined forces to face the always tough to beat Team Terrible. Canada's Tag Team Champions. Perhaps it will take champions to overcome champions. The Baron Charles, well entrenched now as longtime DFW title holder with 5 defenses, and Wolf Hockfield, Canada's heavyweight champion, the man who overcame the Titan 12. The Wolf accomplished the seemingly impossible previous event. Does he, along with the Baron, have a second miracle in store? Final match. The main event. Now that the Team Black group of KO, Lionheart, Iron Mike Sharp have lost the 6-tag title, and Mike Jr. is available to tag up with his father, Team Best Friend and Team Sharp Family argue over who should get the next 2-man tag title shot. When in strolls Rated R superstar Edge, who says, "Hey, I was just congratulating Sharpshooter Syndicate on winning your 6-tag title when I had the best idea ever. Since I use the Sharpshooter submission hold myself on occasion, as we see in the bottom of his profile there, under his move list, wouldn't it be grand if I could team with them? But then I thought to myself, that's silly. Where am I going to find another 4-man team?" So there we go. Eight-man tag. First time ever in the Canada Wrestling promotion. And since there's no title for the 8-man, we'll add something extra to make it more special. Not just 4-on-4, but elimination. We go to configure match style and rules. Call up this list of all the ways you can configure the match. If we see highlighted there, elimination on. So what does that mean? Not just 4-on-4, but elimination? Think Survivor Series. We go until one team is completely wiped out. And part of why this is the main event, not only is it unique in the history, and there's a progression if you notice. You go back to the top here. We have singles matches, 4 of those, and then 3 tags, and then we end with the 8-man tag. So the number of participants keeps increasing. But also, another good reason, putting Mike Jr. in the main event, hoping that his trust will grow from the D rating, as you see lower right. In fact, he's also in the lower right of this configuration, just because he's the runt of the litter. He's the most inexperienced. And Edge in the lower right here because he's not normally part of this group. So there you go. That's the matches. Where are the matches taking place? We move over to the right side. Venue. So we're expecting to nearly pack the place. We see the expected attendance well over 29,000 out of a 30,000 capacity, so near sellout. Merchandise, let's check that out. So we'll confirm this. Looks like a lot of fun. Management. Produce merchandise. So you can see photo, what's it called? Photo collections have sold out. So we'll have to buy some more before I forget. Right above it there, towels. 1971. That was the year that Jim Morrison of the Doors died, I believe. Or, well, yeah, that could be a whole conversation. Yeah, he died that year. One of my heroes. Anyway, photo collection. We're going to crank out 10,000, which is a lot, but why not go big for the big venue? $10,000. And that should keep us still under 400,000 for expenses, right? So we consult the top right there. 1,000, why not? You won't have to buy them again anytime soon, that's for sure. Over 50 grand to make this. It's not cheap, eh? 10,000. So yeah, 390 for expenses at the top there. Pretty cool. And last order of business. Can you guess it? You've been watching the show. Probably have a sense of where we're going from here. Of course. View title belts. It's always something to check on. Let's look at the newest and now the 8th championship of this promotion. Cycle from the bottom there. Newly crowned Ace Heavyweight Champion Warren Watson, the Midnight Knight. And you can see Hell Knight, who just dropped the title, is the greatest holder on record here with 5 title defenses. Scroll back to the top here. The most anyone had ever done is 3. A couple guys had 3. A couple guys had 2. And then Hell Knight set a new standard for this championship. And he's not even actually a homegrown Ace guy. He was actually signed as a free agent at some point. And then he took over the organization, apparently. Or he sank it, right? He was the last title holder, right? Maybe this is not what fans wanted. Maybe he was an outsider. They were used to their own guys battling out for the title, and some brash, rude fellow comes in and just traipses around like he owns the place. Maybe that sank the organization. Anyway, still, 5 defenses is pretty impressive by any standard, as we've seen from the history of this promotion. Speaking of history, the rich history of Canada's Heavyweight Championship. You notice. So look at the top 5. I'm sort of blocking out below that. Most of these titles have 3 of the 5 homegrown titles. They've had 11 champions. How about that? And one has 12. So pretty even levels of number of champions. And of course, the junior tag hasn't been defended a whole lot. Take a quick glance at that. It's only ever been fought for 4 times. The gold and black team won it. Has 3 title defenses. And as we saw, that might be coming to an end. We'll just have to see what happens in the match, I guess. But yeah, confirmation. Wolf Hockfield, the 11th champion of this illustrious title. As the Wolf now joins the rare heir of at least 2 reigns for the top title. I had mentioned 2 others have done this. Big Mike and Big Titan, who each went on to become 3-time champions, actually. So that's it. We're ready to wrestle. September of year 4. Oh, and we see from the top right there, we exceeded expectations, actually. We were expecting high 29,000s. We now have a full house. More people showed up. The place is jammed. Great. Let's have a great show. Match 1. Nursing a neck is Big Mike. A man who has found a way to lose in just about every format. Slumping, you might say. He can't find a way to win some kind of match. He's not going to have much of a case for title consideration other than simply being Canadian in the Canada promotion, which does carry some favor. Looking to disrupt that possibility. It's the Trick Prince. Is he looking to break that vulnerable neck? Oh, Big Mike goes for that spinning back fist. In close quarters, doesn't land. So you can see the Trick Prince is pretty tall. So he's not going to be overawed by Big Mike, at least in terms of height. Even though Mike is pretty thick. There's that shoot takedown by the Trick Prince. Body slam across the main sponsor logo. Shout out to Lit Cola and the huge amount of money they seem to be able to spare to get their logo profiled around here. So Big Mike trying to impose his superior strength. Now the delayed vertical suplex demonstration of strength, demonstration of a methodical patience toward eventual success. Sleeper hold to wear the man down. And how about some agility thrown into the mix, as we've seen in the past. Big Mike, very nimble for a big man. But not lacking in strength, of course. Is the Trick Prince. Test of striking. Kicks to the midsection, and now the moonsault. across the back. Kind of a type of reverse inverted figure four leg lock. Snap mare, sleeper hold, combo. Big Mike putting some mat techniques together in combination.
5 minutes gone.
Oh. Discus striking with the forearm. Looks like Jin snapped out of his daze just long enough to at least maybe try to engage or move out of the way, but well timed by Big Mike. And we're going up onto the turnbuckle. Oh, boy, oh boy. Torture Valley Driver. We haven't seen that in a while off the turnbuckle. Trick Prince going to fly again. Big Mike's wise to it this time. Gets out of the way. But then getting exploited in the turnbuckle there. Monkey flip. Combination striking. Just knocking the Trick Prince into the red corner. Oh, I was afraid to jinx it. I was about to say Mike at least hasn't been thrown on his head or his neck lately that I've seen so far in this match, but it was at that Alabama slam type move. Twice now you've seen Big Mike, the back of his head bounce off the mat there. So that's the risk. The neck's already sore. And the moonsault. Trying to follow up 2.9. Perhaps the damage has been done to the neck. Big Mike's having trouble hanging in there. Perhaps clothesline though. Power on display. Escape out of desperation. Last thing he wanted was to receive mounted strikes to the back of the head. Jeez. The last thing his already ailing body part needs. Another moonsault. That spectacular backflip from the top rope. You've seen the Trick Prince. And yeah, maybe not the best idea by Big Mike to take this match. Under 10 minutes. We saw after those blows to the neck area. Getting flung around like that. Didn't last much longer. Didn't last long after that. And the Trick Prince, the triumphant Trick, has a singles victory to kick off his return to the Canada Wrestling promotion. And I guess it's at minimum back to the drawing board for Big Mike. Possibly might need to see the doctor after this. Check on that neck. It was hurt going in. Is it hurt worse? Match 2. Trimmed for time concerns. It won't make the broadcast. Looking ahead to just how long this event might be. Not only 8 matches, but the huge main event with 8 guys. The elimination, that could be a marathon match. So the result is in. If you attended the show, you saw the match. If you saw it in person, Big Titan winning by knockout. And he makes his case to get right back in to contention for his recently lost Canada's Heavyweight Championship. Match 3 for the Ace Heavyweight Championship. First time to be defended by a contracted wrestler to the CWP. It's been defended by a free agent. And now it's being challenged for by the returning Deathblow Ken, who had been disillusioned with his place in the wrestling industry and needed time off. But he has come back to challenge the Midnight Knights' claim to the title of the organization where Ken got his start as a wrestler. So one man goes for the high kick, the other one goes for the drop down. They miss each other twice, they do so. Clearly these two men are using different approaches. Finally, the Knight figures out a way to land that high kick. He first backs off and dodges the shoot takedown attempt, and then lands the shot as his man is standing up. So a couple good solid kicks landed by the champion, and now he's putting some moves together. Discus clothesline. Midnight Knight looking pretty good first couple minutes. Looking very much the part of a champion. Short clothesline. And so Deathblow is finally getting some of his offense going. That ground game submission. He doesn't mind some martial arts striking there too, but he hasn't landed much of that so far. I think he's landed one medium kick. That's about it.
1, 2.
There's a punch. Back body slam of some sort. Fireman's carry slam, sort of. Anyway. Rotating guillotine drop. Leg drop. Guillotine leg drop. From the turnbuckle. So there's some more of that submission game being applied by Deathblow. Counter. From the double arm to the backdrop out of the ring. Now a test of striking. So Ken is starting to get his game plan going with the wear down strategy of those various submission holds.
5 minutes gone.
The handsome Midnight Knight looking for the hot chicks in the crowd. You heard some cheers. Not surprisingly. Fireman slams. Who knows? Maybe that was the Midnight Knight's day job while he was still trying to break into the wrestling industry, make ends meet. Used to carrying people on his back to safety. Now he uses that move to damage people. Ankle lock submission attempt. The Midnight Knight flailing around with that high kick. Power bomb, but he lands in the triangle choke. He got those legs scissored around the neck with the arm stuck in there. It's a move you see in UFC mixed martial arts circles. And the arm trap there. Yeah, trapping the arm apparently is one way to help cut the circulation off. I'm not sure how exactly the physiology or whatever works, but yeah, starting to see more of it. Seems like the match has trended Ken's way after a couple good first minutes by the champion, but he's landing that fireman slam pretty consistently, so the champ is very much in it. half Nelson back suplex. Muay Thai, knee striking. When he goes for a submission there, the Knight kicks his way out. Reversal on the vertical suplex. So guillotine leg drop. Diving guillotine leg drop. Rolling guillotine leg drop. I'm working on it. And now you're going to see a Phoenix Plex as we move back toward the middle of the ring. You get a look at the Lit-Cola main sponsor logo. And Ken, who falls victim to it, lays across the logo, blocking the lightning bolt. It doesn't help the sponsor. Ken, get up. Well, a pretty game first effort, I think, by Deathblow. He'd been out of action for a while. And he did come in against a man who's at the top of his game. Midnight Knight, who's had a couple of high-profile matches prior to this. He took Big Titan to the very limit when the Titan was still champ. He then, the Knight, went on to win the Ace Heavyweight Championship. So Ken turned back in his first foray back in the CWP, but I guess he had to know if he could get a hold of this title. He tried, but I guess the Midnight Knight, he came this far. He paid the price to become heavyweight champion, and he's not looking like he's going to cough it up anytime immediately anyway. Still, Ace Heavyweight Champion. The Midnight Knight. Match 4. Final phase of Japan's re-invasion of Canada. So far, they've won the one match versus 2 defeats. So they're 1-2 so far going into this fourth. Omega promising to deliver the bang onto this man, Black Dragon God, upon whom I guess is the pressure to salvage this return for the Japanese contingent. If he can win this, they can call it even. 2 wins, 2 losses. There was a little more at stake here, perhaps, for Black Dragon God. As we've talked about, he's had health issues. Test of strength, call it even. Omega body slams the God out of the ring. Yeah, I mean, for Black Dragon God, there's more at stake here than just national pride or maybe the interests of Jin Dynasty, the aspirations of that faction. He would rather, I think his chief concern is to survive this match without any serious cause for concern. For he is up against the man who, again, basically sent him into semi-retirement. It turned out to be semi-retirement because he is back. He's Black Dragon God. Figure 4 leg lock. Figure 4 in match 4. All right. So Omega, being Canadian, is most certainly defending the honor of Canada right now. He would very much like to put another loss on this invasion, just to punctuate it as a bit of Bit of a failure overall if they finish 1 and 3. The returning 4 members of Team Japan. How dare you invade Canada? Perhaps is Omega's thinking. And there's a chokehold applied, a rear choke. Which is Black Dragon's game, as we saw. Mentioned that with Deathblow Ken as well. Vertical suplex by Omega. Who wisely steps back and avoids the shoot takedown. We saw some of that in the first match. I guess the word is out. These mixed martial arts style guys. The non-MMA guys have perhaps learned to adjust to their methods. And there the takedown is stuffed. But ultimately achieved. Look at that. Look at the effort for Black Dragon God to work for that takedown. It was stuffed initially by Kenny dropping down. BDG got a takedown after all. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Do you know where that phrase was from? What movie? It was a Clint Eastwood movie. Give you an extra second or two. Heartbreak Ridge, starring Clint Eastwood. It's a military movie where that was his advice. The mantra as a soldier. You improvise, you adapt, you overcome. So there, what was that? An armbar from the underside. So working some of those grappling submission attempts. Will his pay dividends down the road in this match? We saw Deathblow Ken didn't quite get the result he wanted from that strategy, but Black Dragon God fights that same style, and that's what he's going for. Can Kenny weather the storm the way the Midnight Knight did so in the previous match?
You can't escape.
You can't escape. One of the cooler audios you'll find in the game. Dragon suplex, perhaps? I still need to look that up. One of these days. That's what it's called. Reverse Frankensteiner. Omega is starting to put some impressive moves together. Is he pushing toward a finish as we reach 9 minutes on the match clock? And Omega showing that he's got some mat skills too. Just because they go to the ground doesn't mean the mixed martial arts of Black Dragon God has to prevail necessarily. There's a belly to belly over the head suplex. Claps in that ankle lock submission attempt. Headlock, hip toss, takeover. 10 minutes coming up.
10 minutes gone.
As we hear the announcement. Another one of those triangle chokes, this time from the rear. Which is that leg scissors thing, and I guess you form a type of triangle with your legs, I guess. Bit of cat and mouse there as guys avoid each other's attacks. Another over-the-head suplex. Black Dragon God mounted strikes. They are closed fists to the head, though, so the referee says, nah. That's not what traditional wrestling consists of. Rear choke, but we're in the ropes. Wow, rotating, sit down, powerbomb in the ropes still, though. Impressive looking. Now we're going to the biting.
2, 3.
And we have blood. And we have a takedown.
1.
More mounted strikes. Now it's Black Dragon God that seems to be asserting his game plan. Omega's been split open. Look at that pile, that puddle of blood over there. Pile of blood. Good match. double arm, pile driver, shooting star from the standing position, 3 count. So Omega steals it right when the Black Dragon God looked like he was developing some momentum. So good for Omega, gets the win. Kind of feel like the story here, though, is the return of BDG because he looked okay, didn't he? My biggest concern as promoter was the health of Black Dragon God, because last couple times he was in there were health issues. So for him to be in there, and even in defeat, it was competitive. He didn't get mauled. He didn't get brutalized. He lost fair and square in a fairly standard result. Contributed to an 80% match evaluation. So hey, perhaps this wasn't just testing the waters. Perhaps this might actually be the return of Black Dragon God to active competition. Seems like there's reason to keep including him if he's game to stay. So, below average results for the Japanese invasion, having won just the one of 4. But, you know, look at those match evaluations, everything 80% or above. 4 matches, 4% above 80. So, can't say they didn't earn their paychecks. We move on to match 5 for Dramatic Fight Wrestling Tag Team Championship. The $90,000 team. The $50,000 man, Ted Axel. And the $40,000 man, although he doesn't arrogantly call himself that. The Blue Blazer, he's a little more humble as a do-gooding superhero. Canadian hero. Against a pair of American villains. Team Satan. The big bad foot soldier. First into the ring. The conniving genius. The general. Team Satan. The champions. And the general, very wily there, saw the Blue Blazer was coming out hot to trot, backed off, and counterattacked, headbutt. He's already out there using his head. Is the military mastermind. Arrogant one-footed cover, though. Probably not going to win. In just a minute. Oh, he's going to brass knuckles early. The ref sees it. He's not going to disqualify someone in under a minute, I guess. Although you could. You could. He knows he's not supposed to be bringing an iron punching aid into the ring. Anyway, moving on. And both members, the $90,000 team, attempting some sort of jumping move. Satan's general seems to be having everything his way so far against both these men. Just avoiding just about everything that comes his way, executing moves. First couple minutes looking very good. Dropkick missed as well. Teddy Twister. Finally, someone executes a proper move. And as soon as the $90,000 team starts to get a read on the general, what does he do? He tags out. Now we have to face the fresh man. That's why he's the general, ladies and gentlemen. And now, bullying tactics in the corner by Foot Soldier. Ted Axel fighting his way out of there, though, with a body slam. Counters the vertical suplex by pulling his man down into an armbar. Now working that arm twist, attacking the shoulder. Elbows his man down, uses that time to get tagged out, get the fresh man in. European uppercut. Blue Blazer follows up on the downed opponent with a stomp. But now he's draped into a backbreaker predicament. Lays his man across his knee. Now the press slam. Look at all the awesome power on display by Satan's foot soldier. Giant swing. Just ragdolling Blue Blazer over this past while. Test of striking.
5 minutes.
Batters the Blue Blazer anew. Is flat on his back in the champion's corner. Fighting his way out though. Tosses both members. Now what's more superhero than that? Just cleaning house. Handling two guys at once. Just taking out the trash, so to speak. And then he reverses the vertical suplex. The Blue Blazer is on fire right now. It's a shame he's the non-legal man. He's got to get out. Ted Axel with a body slam sends the General out of the ring. But very politely lets him get back in. Got to be in the ring to win these tag titles. The General going to work on the arm. A little bit of turnabout against Ted Axel. That's more Axel's game into attack the limbs. Now, eye raking. Some dirty tactics getting worked in. And then elbow smashes the temporarily blinded opponent. Rodeo armbreaker. Fast, wild action going on. There's a steel chair over there too. Didn't factor into the action. There's that Teddy Twister again. Back to the limb attacks. Attacking the arm quite a few times in this match so far. Is Axel. I guess he figures with a long match, that kind of wear down tactic might be what makes the difference down the road. But now we got some team up action. Assisted powerbomb. Backbreaker submission across the shins there. Suplex slam.
1, 2.
The Stewart slam. Will Stewart scores a 2 count, our first 2 count. Arm bar applied. But the rather strong Stewart out in short order. Rips his man down with a clothesline. Oh, look at that backflip dropkick. Athleticism too. It's one of several guys in this motion that are they're big guys, but they move. They can get up there. They can elevate. And put that weight into high flying action. Although high flying refers more to the top rope, so let's not exaggerate. Some of them do. Wolf Hockfield, the champion, he goes off the top rope on occasion, or at least scales the turnbuckle in some capacity to get some big air going. Ric Flair style, shin breaker. Oh, looked like the General was trying something fiendish with that steel chair there. Maybe a pile driver or something. Wise man, though, wisely escapes that predicament. Drop kick off the Irish whip. Eats a boot to the face, however. So that victory roll was not going to be successful in any case, too deep into the challenger side of the ring. Discus, lariat. The Blazer makes the save. Then the running splash. Oh, we're going to get all 4 men in the ring now. Another one of those vertical suplex slams. We'll get into the figure 4 leg lock now. Save easily made. And then Ted Axel takes a turn with the shin breaker. So who's been more the wily strategist so far? Ted Axel with his limb attacks, wear down the components, aiming to the finish. Or Satan's General. Well, who's put forth more spectacularity so far? The Blue Blazer or the Foot Soldier? Overhead suplex. The Blazer is Dazer. Eats a big running clothesline. Counter with the drop, toe hold, arm drag, takedown. The Blazer goes old school. Because I'm seeing under the mask, these two men in blue have similar hair colors too, eh? More in common than I realized. Here's that press slam power on display. Pile driver by the General. Team Satan looking powerful right now. Top rope falling fist. Oof. Wise Man was going for a drop kick. He was clotheslined out of it, ball shot. And then attempt the pin after that. He's a sitting duck though. Very vulnerable. The Blazer takes advantage of it. Swift kick to the torso there. Wear the man down for his partner. Oh, we have a standing sleeper hold off the Irish whip. But no submission, however, as Satan's General is, among several other things, very tough. Putting power moves together now. Goes for a pin. Don't know where the Foot Soldier was on that one. Just stood there watching. Maybe he figured center of the ring, not likely to get the pinfall with the tag action being what it is. Probably going to get broken up. Maybe it was a wise move to conserve his energy. So the General looked like he was game to keep up the fight, but once he saw the tag, he figures, nah, prudent thing. Get my own fresh guy in. Foolish bravado is not the route to holding on to your championship belts. Err on the side of caution, perhaps, because, again, you don't have to win the match. All you got to do is find some way to hold on to the belts. Tombstone pile driver just lays out the Blazer. Lasers out the Blazer. Olympic slam. Will Stewart looking very good. Might have taken more out of himself. The exertion. The Blue Blazer was the first to get up. But now a second one. Taking its toll. The accumulated punishment there. But both men still very much game to keep up the fight. Spine buster. More power on display by the big man.
20 minutes gone.
One of those Widow's Peak slams, and Team Satan looking like they're having a good time in there. Calling for the finish, posing down. Snapmare escape by Blue Blazer, and he will get the fresh man tagged in. Tags to Ted. But as long as he was 1 against 2, notice the wiliness of the General backs into his corner for safety. He can more effectively perhaps fight 1 against 2 and have the security of knowing he's near his own corner, where help was available if things got desperate. Roll up though, the surprise. And the Foot Soldier, I guess, was calmly confident that the General is not going to be taken in by that sort of surprise tactics. Axel perhaps unwisely taking a moment to grandstand a bit. maybe take care of business. Try to win this title. Time enough to celebrate once you've hoisted those belts. Body slam onto the big man. Into the corner where that steel chair remains as an obstacle for people to, or an object for people to land on. Look at this. Look at the energy late in the match to do something like that. Cartwheel. Wow. The wise man looking tremendous right now. Spectacularity on display. And now a sledgehammer this time by Will Stewart. He drops it, realizes I don't need a stinking sledgehammer. I got 2 sledgehammers right here. And he's perhaps not wrong. He is just rippling with muscle. Now he seeks to use that muscle to exploit posing down again. The giant swing. This is a submission hold technically. I think we're still looking for the first time someone actually gives up to that move. It's a dizzying move. I don't know if it's devastating though. Maybe it's not likely to get someone to quit over it. Flapjack. This is a move you don't see too often by the foot soldier. It goes down low from behind. Perhaps setting the Blazer up. Gets the general in there, but this is a superhero after all. Oh, nut clutch! The nut clutch! Well positioned in his own corner where there's no help to be had. And he's not even letting go. Oh, that's just not appropriate. That's just adding insult to, well, it's adding injury to injury. He's already hurt, probably. Oh my god, someone should stop this. Well, the nut crush submission hold gets the give up. Understandably, no shame in submitting to that. Whether it should be legal to apply a move like that could be debated. But what's not in debate is that Team Satan remains your dramatic fight wrestling tag team champions. Match 6. As we get into the scripted outcome portion of the match card. Tag team junior champions to be Team Dark. Big Man Complex. Mexico Miguel. They do look pretty ominous together. Having done the honors last episode to put other guys over, they're now supposed to receive the same treatment. As your junior tag team champions make their way down, Christian has agreed that he will turn the belts over. He will do business, so to speak, do the honors to augment someone else's standing. Do you see that in the wrestling business, wrestling world? Will he carry out what he agreed to? I guess we won't know until... Well, there's a counter into a power bomb. Why not? So Christian making it look good so far. Is he actually fighting? Is this a real match after all? So Miguel combining backflips, moonsaults,
1, 2, 3.
and a stunning 1 minute, 1 second upset of the tag team junior champions. The stunned crowd. So some spectacularity on display, some athleticism. triple moonsaults as Mexico Miguel punctuates his first reign as tag team champion captain. Okay, well, that resolves the bargaining to bring Mexico Miguel back to the organization. But is there some fallout to come? Is this storyline wrapped, or is there more? Tune in next episode to see if there's more to know. New Junior Tag Champions, Team Dark. Match 7 for Canada's Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. Two heavyweight champions clad in blue. The Baron Charles, Wolf Hockfield, joining forces to take on Terrible. If they can win this, they'll each become dual champions, right? They'd be holding a single and a tag at the same time. Easier said than done, as Team Terrible takes to the ring Jason the Bear.
Fight.
The Wolf has had his share of run-ins with Terrible Ted. This was the original tag team rivalry, at least the Wolf facing Team Terrible. He originally teamed with Omega. And tries to land the high kick to the snout of the Bear. Irish whip. It's a rather large mammal to be tossing across the ring. But the Wolf is incredibly strong. Look at him. He is one of the, you might say, true heavyweights. You get a look at the back of the Baron and the quads, the hamstrings. Also a rather large man. So this Team Blue is no joke at all in terms of size. You could argue one of the more formidable teams to try to match up with the Bear strength-wise. And I want to say with nothing to lose. See, there's some of the Baron strength on display. Means the test of strength. Arm trap choke. I want to say nothing to lose for this Team Blue, because whatever happens, they'll walk out with their heavyweight championships still individually around their waists or over their shoulders. But there's always your health you got to worry about especially when you're up against the Bear. Ask Big Mike. If this is just not just a match, you come out maybe not feeling so great. Did we see the Bear Mare just now before we got the tag? Team up clothesline. Jawbreaker using the hockey mask as a weapon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Test of striking.
Yeah.
And perhaps it was the armor upon the face of Jason that allowed him to essentially win that contest, withstand the barrage. Takes another shot to the face, though. The Baron's determined he's going to try to break the mask off the guy. Not shying away from contact there. Oh, and then the mask is brought back to him in an underhanded manner in the form of a low blow. Ooh, the Wolf. Saving the Baron from a jawbreaker with that high kick. Which doesn't often land, I think it's fair to say. Team up clothesline. into the camel clutch, or at least a chin lock. Hit. Neck crank submission attempt. The roll up. The bear going for a pinfall there. And the wolf figures, well, maybe. Yeah. It's never a bad thing to tag out against a bear. Make it the other guy's problem whenever you can. Trips his man down, executes another neck crank. Boot to the, well, let's say pelvic region of the bear. Not to get too vulgar. Reversal on the Irish whip. Shoot takedown into the corner. The champion's corner. Applying that guillotine choke. Headlock, hip toss, takeover. Chicago Bears football charge. Oh, perhaps going for some sort of pile driver. It's countered, backdrop, out of the ring. The wolf comes in to cover his partner, so he doesn't get taken advantage of on the outside. Does some pretty good work holding off Team Terrible, while the Baron gets his barons, or bearings. Assisted powerbomb. And then some turnabout is absolutely foul play, as the Baron lands a headbutt down low to Jason, who had done the same thing to him earlier. It's only fair. Team up clothesline. One of Terrible's team up trademarks. Snap mare. At the 10-minute mark, only one count though. Ooh, there's that high kick landed again. The Wolf has landed that high kick on each of the members of Team Terrible so far. Is that a sign that he got what it takes to take these tag titles? The guillotine choke. Okay, well, spoke entirely too soon. It was only the one count when the pin attempt was attempted against the Wolf. But to pin someone is one thing. To just get all that bear strength applied. When there's more than just weight on top of you that you could potentially escape, but to actually exert pressure with extreme force, as the bear can do. That's all it takes to induce the submission. You can be fresh as a daisy, rested up, and then when you get like a vice clamped around your neck, maybe you just say, I don't need this in my life, I'm out. So, I mean, not too surprising. I mean, a pretty awesome team up of champions, the Wolf and the Baron, but not typically a tag team together, not typically tag team specialists the way Team Terrible is. This was perhaps more of a novelty than a truly serious challenge, but still Canada's tag team champions. Team Terrible. First ever 8-man tag elimination rules for the main event. For no championships. For perhaps minimal title match implications, as I guess you're going for a team result, which can move toward justification to challenge for some sort of team title. Look at this gang coming down. Team Black. Mike Jr. will climb in first, followed by his father, Iron Mike. Canada's greatest athlete, Lionheart, Chris Jericho, KO Kevin Owens, stands in the middle as the captain. I'm already out of breath. We're not even halfway through the intro. The match walk down. Edge, rated R superstar. This was his idea. He's proud of his Sharpshooter Syndicate buddies there and wanted to team up with them. Who precede Blue Hair, the Canadian sensation. And of course, the Hitman, Bret Hart. Edge front and center, arms raised. Here they are. Almost an all-Canadian eight man, but Blue Hair is Japanese. Start off with one of the most bitter rivalries we've had in this organization. Hitman and KO. Countering the headlock with the back suplex. Arm drag takedown, old school by the Hitman. So, I feel like I should try to go light on the commentary here because this could take a while. It's not just a fight to one fall, we keep going until one team is gone. Survivor Series. Jericho is tossed out of the ring at the blue corner. Looked like the Hitman went out into pursuit. But Jericho slickly rolls back in the ring. I mean, we've seen how 6-man tags can get out of hand when all guys get in the ring. Presumably at some point we'll see 8. So team up on the vertical suplex. So yeah, some pretty quick tags early on, getting all the different guys in there. Seems like the strategy of both teams is don't make your teammates wait that long to get in there and get the blood pumping a little bit. Running, knee drop. But Edge is bowled over by the youngster. Side Russian leg sweep. And to save my voice, I might just go light on the commentary. Only if it's particularly interesting should I say something. But it's always interesting. There you go, double drop kick. Blue Hair loses his mind a little bit there. Maybe he lost his balance. He looked like he just flew in the wrong direction. What are you doing, Blue Hair? Maybe this 8-man arrangement is confusing for some. Never been in this kind of match. Snap mare. Sharp snap mare. Sharp mare. Just stomping the back of the downed opponent. I mean, it might not take too much longer than the average match. It shouldn't take like 4 times as long. Because by the time someone gets defeated, good chance that if it's because they've been worn down, good chance everyone's kind of worn down. It might not take too much longer to start seeing more falls. I think we saw a sensational screw there, the Dragon Screw leg whip off of the Canadian sensation. Tombstone piledriver. Looking to shatter the old man's spinal column. Flying elbow to the pelvic region. 2 count as the save was almost not made. Did we almost see a freak early fall, 6 minutes? Look at them coming in and forced to save Iron Mike. 3 guys in to make the save. They don't trust that, are they concerned that the old man can't hang in this environment? They're just making sure he doesn't get defeated. You should probably think about tagging out if it's going to be this touch and go for him. Well, he's still got some in him, clearly. Counters the top rope shenanigans. And then upon seeing it was about to be 2-on-1, gets the heck out of there. Evens up the score. team up on the vertical suplex out of the ring as Sharp and Jericho work together. There's a bit of beef, I guess, rivalry between these two. If you go back to the Christmas bloodbath, last time we made a December show, which would have been episode 36. These two had a memorable clash when Jericho filled in for the health not so good Kevin Owens. That was Jericho's debut here in the Canada Wrestling Promotion, assisted powerbomb. Edge is KO just tossing sharpshooters out of the ring. Even though Edge is not formally a member of the stable, he does use the sharpshooter according to his move list, so he's an honorary syndicate member, is Edge.
10 minutes gone.
He can certainly fill in if this trio is ever short a man for whatever reason. I do have the vague plan that he could join the syndicate one day. Depends on if I sign a certain other wrestler. We shall see. Edge is currently part of Team Canada Red, along with Big Mike. And they've teamed up in some capacity. Certainly, if for whatever reason Blue Hair went back to Japan, Edge would make a very worthwhile substitute. Being Canadian, it would be an all-Canadian sharpshooter syndicate in that case. Father rescues son there from the sleeper hold, but pays for it with a back suplex. But Junior has perhaps the upper hand. Well, look like he might have. But Blue Hair came up swinging with those chops, falling fist. Oh, Brainbuster. I was half expecting vertical suplex out of the ring, but it was a little more devastating than that. Just looking at the clock, noticing 13 minutes on the match clock. I wonder how long this will go. Might be a few more 13-minute chunks ahead of us. Both members of Sharp family in there to make the save, and they're still saving. They got good mileage out of that interference, did Sharp family. Assisted Diamond Cutter, or 4D in this case. You've heard of the 3D, right? From the Dudley Boys. This is four-man teams, so 4D. Northern Light Suplex as the Canadian Sensation tries to fend off both members of Team Best Friend. Sooner or later, the numbers caught up to him. Northern Light Suplex again, doing honor to Canada, the Great White North. It's a big man to do that move to, actually. And now we have all 8 men in the ring. Jericho just flailing around with those kicks, just booting people down. Wild action. brief but brawling. Is that affair? Unprettier. Seems like Canadian sensation as long as he's teamed up with Edge. Borrows a move from Edge's best buddy, Christian. And again, we have all 8 men in the ring. KO DDTs the sensation onto Mike Jr., who's still recovering. Look at that. I think had a man's head just planted squarely in his chest while he was down. With the force of a big man like KO driving the guy down. That was pretty impolite there of KO. Hopefully that doesn't cause some sort of rift with Team Black. Tombstone Piledriver. Assisted powerbomb. The sensation is calling for the end here. As we've seen, this is a bit of a uncertain match for Mike Sharp Sr. in the early going. Maybe the sensation thought there's no way this guy's going to last. He's too old. That's why he called for the finish. But with 8 guys in there, the finish might not be easy to come by, as save might be very likely. Pin preventions such as those. 8 men in the ring again. Assisted powerbomb over there. Low blow up top there from Lionheart.
20 minutes gone.
Team up. Vertical suplex. Now we're going to see a figure 4 leg lock. Not the legal combination though, so the ref did not check for a submission. Oh, double boot to the back. KO just getting brutalized by members of Sharpshooter. And then he gets suplexed upon. Someone suplexed Edge on top of KO. Airplane spin, middle of the ring. Lit Cola, main sponsor logo. Shout out to the main sponsor. Back suplex. That's a long, drawn out airplane spin, which Bret Hart should be able to appreciate being old school. Suplex slam. Dragon screw leg whip off of the Lit Cola main sponsor logo. Drives that spear in there. Takes this man down. Baseball slide. Combination wrestling by Blue Hair. 22 minutes, and who knows, we might not even be halfway through. When you consider how long this match could go, we got 3 men standing on the apron there per team that are resting up from whatever damage they've taken. Should, in theory, extend the match. 8 man brawling again. Crazy action. How do you call it? Saw a double arm suplex there. We're going for the top rope there. Eye rake escapes trouble for Blue Hair. And he's going to fly while he's up there. Missile. Drop kick. Probably took it out of himself as much as anyone. That's a hard fall. Even after you've been the one to deliver a move. The Rain Buster. Sidewalk backbreaker. Suplex slam. Crazy wild action in the red corner. 4 guys involved. Just 4. Could be as many as 8. Strange to think of 4 guys brawling as a small number. Running. Back splash there. Booting. Pulling up his pants. They're bound to fall down after a while with this kind of match duration we have ahead of ourselves here. Goes for a pinfall. I don't know why you'd bother doing that. On the enemy side of the ring. Oh, launch, drop kick. KO goes careening across the ring, and he's handy there near the ropes to get the tag. Tags in his best friend, Lionheart. Who shows off the biceps. Check out the bicep, he says. Back suplex. Team best friend. Teaming up to work over Blue Hair. Now they got him in the turnbuckle. But Blue Hair is fighting his way out of it. He's at the Phoenix Plex. He's not out of the woods yet, though, as he's still in the black corner. Well, he's going to okay, fire jumping powerbomb. As long as you're out there, might as well try to win it, I guess. But again, wrong side of the ring to try to get that finish. Wild action. 7 guys for a second there. Very briefly. Order restored eventually. Running Bulldog. Power bomb. Center of the ring there, roughly. Gets tagged out to KO. Blue Hair was waiting for him. Desperation backflip kick, and then he gets tagged out. In comes the Canadian Sensation. Brainbuster. Oh, looked like I was about to say setting it up for the Sensation. Missile drop kick pops back up again. Sensational Superfly victory roll. So this pinfall might be covered actually because he's got friends. Yeah. Friends came in there, protected the pin attempt, and we have our first elimination. The match continues. The Canadian Sensation eliminates KO via the victory roll. Now we have a crossface. Going for he tried to eliminate both members of Team Best Friend in short span. Now we have the remaining 7 members of this match batting it out. Team Black is now shorthanded. Sensational snap suplex as we near the half-hour mark.
30 minutes gone.
Unprettier, which might harm Jericho's career a bit. He's an above-average handsome man. Maybe not dreamboat status. I mean, if you're into dudes, leave a comment if you have an opinion on that. Pile driver. He's a handsome guy. Let's call it that. He's handsome. It's just, I don't know if it's ever been his gimmick to say, look at how attractive I am. It may have been. I mean, he's adopted different personalities over time, has he not? Lionheart. If I'm incorrect about his history, again, write in the comments. Shit, give me some opinions on Chris Jericho. Why not? He's been champion of the world after all. He's certainly worth talking about. So, Iron Mike, who has settled into this match after some troublesome early minutes, flings Edge out of the ring. And now he's going for the backbreaker submission. Was that the Canadian? I don't know. Backbreaker submission attempt. But the save was made. The Sensation gets confused amidst all the chaos. Kisses the canvas. We have a pin attempt. 2.9. The old man is hanging in there. Responds by tossing the Hitman out of the ring, goes out in pursuit. And then once he realized Blue Hair was coming up behind him, he aborted. Wily veteran move by Iron Mike to get back in the ring to avoid what might have been an unfavorable situation. And then gets tagged out, tags his son in there, Mike Jr. Both members of Sharp family now threatening the Hitman. Hitman executes an atomic drop. The numbers catches up to him, 2 against 1. Double arms, flex. Clothesline to the back of the head. Open now. Ugh, eats a pile driver. Pin attempt, but Junior's legs are under the ropes there, so. 4D on the assisted diamond cutter. Tag made. Wild action along the ropes here. Many men involved, even with only 7 guys left in the match. There's plenty of guys there brawling indistinguishable. Another tombstone power driver. The Canadian sensation has used that move quite devastatingly. Sensational superfly headbutt. Might have stunned himself there. As Junior's first up, but he's brought back down with the Dragon Screw Leg Whip. Sensational headbutt across the hairy chest. Arrogant pin attempt. Father rescues son. Wild action, double arm suplex, tombstone. DDT. As Lionheart, I was about to say, gets his hands on his chief rival, the Sensation, only to be thwarted. The Sensation's back on top of things. Another pin attempt, but again, we're just too deep in the blue side of the ring. Double drop kick. Double drop kick. On repeat is that team up. So the Sensation sensationally softening up Lionheart for his longtime partner, Hitman Bret Hart. Side Russian leg sweep. Drop kick off of the Irish whip. Yeah, Sharpshooter Syndicate might want to try to... Oh! Three-man beatdown. You might not have seen it too well unless you knew to look for it. Rolling guillotine. Drop off the top rope, leg drop. We'll briefly have 2-on-2 here. Assisted vertical suplex. Oh, there's a backbreaker submission attempt. But we do get the submission. Sharpshooter Syndicate came in there to rescue Edge. But we did get a give up there. Edge has been eliminated by, I believe, Mike Jr. on the backbreaker submission. So we're even up now. We have another backbreaker submission. Attempt, that is. Edge is out there holding his back, I imagine, in pain. The Hitman is, I believe he was rescued from sharing a similar fate. Now it's 3-on-3. Past the 40-minute mark. Snap, suplex. The Hitman goes in motion to exploit his downed opponent with an elbow drop. Running elbow drop. Ooh, flapjack. Executed by Mike Jr. Son tags off to father. Airplane spin to soften him up. Before he turns the Hitman over to D-Old Dad. Backslide might have been a good idea, except that was not the legal combination. Brain Buster, falling fist. Now we're going to see the Sharpshooter right there in the Sharpshooter corner. The Syndicate gets the next fall. Canada's greatest athlete gives up. Gives up the ship, packs it in. So how about 2 eliminations in rapid succession for Blue Hair? Fire jumping powerbomb the second time, and then he spears out Mike Jr. And look at that! What a display by Blue Hair. The only non-Canadian. Over the span of what? Less than a minute, and gets 3 eliminations? That was insane. A rapid fire finish to a match that had been equalized. Fittingly, with the Scorpion Deathlock, the Japanese variation, perhaps, on the Sharpshooter. So a fitting final finish after what had been early disadvantage for Team Black. They equalized, made it 3-on-3, and then an incredible triple elimination, rapid fire elimination by Blue Hair to secure this win for Sharpshooter Syndicate. So good times for Edge. This was his idea. He put this match together. He teams with Sharpshooter Syndicate for the first time. And yeah, good times. 100% match evaluation. Wildly entertaining affair. Went over 40 minutes, but I think never a dull moment. A lot of action, all kinds of combinations of guys wrestling each other within one match. Our first ever 8-man tag, 4 against 4 elimination. I think it proved to be quite the success. Have to look for an excuse to do this in the future, perhaps. Good show, boys. What a way to finish. And I think we had an 80% average evaluation going into that match. I didn't want to put pressure on these guys by saying pressure's on to keep up the 80 plus. And boy, did they deliver. Great success, I'll say so. As we went over capacity, we just overstuffed the place. Hopefully the fire marshal was not there to take account of that. Maybe that's what caused the greater than average turnout. We underestimated how much excitement there would be around an 8-man tag. We went from 29 some odd thousand, 31. Extra people showing up at the door saying, hey, can I come in too? I'll pay. Sure. And we'll get a look at the money. So the event generated $3.5 million. And then we profited over $3 million. $66 million promotion. And that's it then. Halloween is next, October.